Thank you.
Meet and cousin.
Hey, we're on the air.
Either or.
Let John knows he's recording them.
So let's get rolling, folks. Do we have a quorum? Yeah. Okay, don't forget to silence your gadgets. Bob's doing the invocation today. Brian's the pledge. If you wish to join, please rise.
Please join with me. Thank you, Lord, for the privilege of meeting here today. Please give us your strength, wisdom, and guidance. Grant us your blessings as we work together with pride and patriotism to further the aims and purposes of Berrien County, not only for our veterans, our families, but also our communities. Thank you for preserving our nation where justice, freedom, democracy, and loyalty reside. Help us to foster peace and understanding, joy in our lives, and give us the patience to listen to others. Please, Lord, grant us your never failing love as we go about our day. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He ought to be here.
Mamie, I'll take your back.
Yes, thank you. I'll just have to see.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freeling.
Present.
Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman. Here. Majerick.
Here.
Pittsford. Ballrath. Whirlpool. Yarborough.
She just left.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have 9 present.
Thank you. We have minutes from a week ago. Who wants to move those forward?
I'll make a motion that we approve those.
Moved by Volrath, supported by Freeling. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, any communications?
We have just one, an email from Jeff Clayton, Executive Director of American Bail Coalition on Michigan House to hear New York style legislation ending cash bail.
Louder, please.
An email from Jeff Clayton, Executive Director of American Bail Coalition on Michigan House to hear New York style legislation ending cash bail, received November 11th, 2024. That's it.
Thank you. Requisition list that someone started signing and circulating. Whoever did that, come on.
So I gave you all a copy of the revised requisition list with the added fuel purchase in there. That would be requisition 50920 in the amount of $217,217. Adjusted the totals there, and now the front copy does reflect that as well. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It never hurts. Just in case the original got lost. Okay, we have a public hearing. And we have the Financial Services Director here. Do we need to go into public hearing first?
Yeah, we need.
Okay, all right, we'll need a motion to pause this meeting and go into a public hearing for purposes of reviewing the 2025 budget.
So moved.
Moved by Harrison. Is there support? Supported by Volrath. So you've got Harrison and Volrath. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, we'll do a roll call.
Curran.
Yes.
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Looks familiar.
Ballrath. Bell.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
All yeas.
Okay, so the public hearing is now up and running. Doug, we're going to try to do a overview in 10 minutes or less. For each minute below that, you win $1 million. So, from Elon Musk.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Doug
morning.
James, Financial Services.
Okay.
Wanted to talk to you today. You have the budget document in front of you, the thick book. We're gonna boil that down to less than 10 minutes because I'm gonna be able to get $1 million in a minute. Okay, 2025 budget. I put on here for edification purposes to show you, this is the mission of Berrien County government. This comes straight off of our website and what we're about, okay? And in meeting the expectations of that mission statement, we've defined what we think are successes from a finance standpoint, and that's to provide you with a balanced budget, to maintain fund balances within policy, and to make sure that all debt and retirement obligations are met. What we're presenting to you today is my comments relate to primary government. Primary government, we're presenting to you for your review and adoption, a balanced budget. Revenues and other sources are $216.68 million. Uses of reserves are $17.273 million, and expenditures and other uses of funds would be $233.953 million. You can see those particular items reflected there. If you go across the bottom, you can look and you can see that the general fund is $965,000 use of funds. Special revenue funds are using reserves of 5.7. Capital projects are using reserves of 6.8. Internal services funds increased slightly, and then enterprise funds also use about $4.3 million. All told, when you add that all together, we have about a $17.3 million use of reserves. Okay, real quick. This gives you a look at where historically we've been. If you go back up to 2020, we've grown a lot. We were at $136 million in 2020. Now we're at $184 million. These three particular items that I have circled here make up 88.3% of our total revenue budget. They have to do with the property taxes, intergovernmental revenue, and internal service benefit reimbursements. I've highlighted for you, and you can read at your leisure, the particular items that I wanted to bring attention to, which has to do with property taxes, intergovernmental revenue, and benefit reimbursements. And we'll talk about those just real quick. Taxes. This is a trend chart showing you over time what has happened with taxes. The blue is the taxable value. I'm sorry, the gray is a taxable value. The blue is a state equalized value. Okay. You're going to see this year, we're planning on a 16% increase in the state equalized value, and which comes out to a little over 2 billion, and taxable values of 706 million, which is an increase of about 7.4%. When the millage rate is stated at the bottom here, that millage will be the amount that will be reflected on the resolution. When we convert that and we add from those two slides, factor in tax adjustments for the realization of the Bridgman Nuclear Facility Agreement, we come to tax revenue for all funds for primary government of $62 million. When we add in the rest of the other items, it comes up to about $65 million. Okay. Where'd it go? Didn't go. Let's see. Okay. Intergovernmental revenue is budgeted at 77.7 million, which is 42%. I've reflected here the major drivers within that, which have to do with ARPA dollars are going down 5 million, but other revenue sources are increasing $4.5 million. And I've listed the various funds that are impact that. Other revenues, which include the internal service and insurance benefit reimbursement, are budgeted at 22.8 million. You can see that the benefit reimbursement is $19 million, a 19.664. That's increasing $1.7 million. Expenditures over time, you can also see what has occurred. The wages and benefits, the items that are circled there make up 80, other than the one in green, make up 85%, almost 86% of our total expenditures. The delinquent tax foreclosure amount, I circled that because that is something that's unique, that it's begun in the last, well, we continue to address, which has to do, I'm trying to think, with the Raffaele case. We are planning on about $4.2 million next year of expenditures and in those foreclosure cases. I've listed for you what the highlighted items here that which show you, the large drivers. We are budgeted to have 842.8 employees. That's an increase of 2.1 from 2024 budget and 30.2 people from the 2023 budget. That headcount change, coupled with the wage change, results in an increase in wages of about $3,874,000. Benefit costs are going up 3.6 million. Again, healthcare is a big driver of that. It's about $3.3 million. We're expecting a substantial increase in health insurance rates based upon Blue Cross Blue Shield assumptions. Capital outlay is budgeted at 18.6 million, and it makes up about 9% of the expenditures. That is a decrease from the 2024 budget of about 5,781,000. A large piece of that has to do with the capital projects funds. And then I've also listed a few other funds that have large spends as well. This is a general fund, and basically the general fund, as I had stated earlier, will have a use of reserves of $966,000. That's after we've moved $2.9 million in from the delinquent tax revolving fund. And estimated fund balance at the end of 2025 of 35.1%. I've itemized for you here, trying to look and say, okay, what are the big drivers? And I've tried to reflect that here. When you have time, you can go ahead and read through that. That's a little different than I presented in the workshop. Special revenue funds are budgeted to have a use of reserves of $5.7 million. Tried to highlight here again the big drivers. This is a separate slide than we had yesterday, which really gets into, okay, which funds and groups of funds are using reserves or providing reserves, and which funds are reflecting capital outlays. Capital projects funds, again, there is a use of funds I just stumbled, my apology. There is a transfer in of only $420,000. Expenditures are expected to be $7,224,000, and there's going to be a use of reserve of $6.8 million. A lot of that is driven by what you see down here, that facility enhancement. Facility enhancements are going to use about $5.9 million of those reserves. Okay. Internal service funds, this gives you a summary. Basically, we boil it down to the fact that it stays fairly flat, but you have a large increase in your expenditures for that particular fund. If you go to that insurance line, it's 2 million, of which the health insurance piece is $1.9 million. Enterprise funds, this basically reflects a $4.3 million revenue, operating expenses of $5.8 million, and then net non-operating, well, it's only a 10,000, but the point that I want to make here is this includes a $2.9 million declaration of excess, I'll call it excess proceeds from the delinquent tax revolving fund and is being moved to the general fund. Couple highlights I've thrown here for you at the bottom, what's going on with each of the individual funds. And you can see the delinquent tax foreclosure fund is decreasing $3.3 million, okay? Making up quite a bit of that 4.3. That has to do, again, with that payout on Raffaele. That's estimated at this point. I wanted to mention to you the 2025 ending net position for the fund, for that particular fund, is estimated at $203,000 at the end of next year. So it is pretty well depleted. All right, so what I'm doing is providing you with this summary, at which point primary government expenditures and uses would be $233.953 million, property taxes of $65.764 million, other revenues of $150.916 million, and a use of net change in position, or a use of reserves of $17,274,000. Any questions?
Any questions for Doug?
20 minutes was it, Jake? I want my $2.1 million.
Well, I just texted Mr. Musk. He'll be getting with you.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Since it's a public hearing, is there any member of the public who wishes to comment? A long line. Okay, then is there a motion? Yes.
Hey, Jake, can you come back?
Shoot, do that way already.
He's moving fast. He almost made it.
He almost made it. Mr. Chairman, I participated in the budget workshop yesterday. And was that yesterday?
It was.
Yes.
And it was well done. My compliments not only to administration, but the finance department, as well as the elected officials that participated. So it was good work, very complex, but I was very impressed. Thank you.
I just want to follow up on that statement. So to the board, this is Jake's first time working directly with Doug on the budget prep. Between the two of them, they've done an excellent job. I know Doug has been absolutely burning the candle at both ends. He's done really good work. And then to Jake, I just personally wanted to point out, this is his first time through it, and he really did a good job. Jake, well done.
Thanks.
We've come a long way. 40 years ago, Kenny Wenzel used to take everything home and he would put it together in the kitchen. He'd spread it out. If you're ever in the house, the kitchen table, he'd spread everything out. He'd pull it all together. He'd bring it in and he had it closed. He had it balanced. He did it all by himself. And I still don't know how he did, but he did. And I guess that's one of the reasons why your conference room is named after Kenny Wenzel. So anyway, thank you very much. And as there are no public comments, is there a motion to conclude the public hearing and go back into our regularly scheduled meeting? Moved by Harrison. Is there support?
Support.
supported by Majerick. This is to conclude the public hearing and resume the regularly scheduled board meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman, Majerick,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. We're back in regular session and now it's time to entertain public comments about resolutions that are on the agenda, including the one added resolution that I think had to do with the road department. Yeah, for fuel, 6 months worth of fuel for the road department. Anyone have any comments to make on resolutions, including the added resolution ending in 1378? Okay, no comments having been received. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar, including added resolution ending in 1378?
So moved.
Moved by Curran, supported by Bell. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Jarrett,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Yarborough. Oops, Bell,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
and Freeland.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes, me too.
No nays.
Okay, thank you. The resolutions are all approved. Committee reports. John, do you want to lead us off?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm filling in for Mamie here and I hope she feels better. We had a kind of a brief meeting today. We approved the minutes. One of the things that we've covered, we've already taken care of in the consent calendar, and that was the road department 6-month fuel bid. We do that kind of quickly. We approve that there, and that's why Annette comes around and has that requisition list signed later, so we can do that kind of on an immediate basis. I'd like to encourage staff, however, to do what you can do to get maybe a few more bidders. We had one this time, and so we'll see what happens, even if we have to go a little bit further away from Tanktown. So I know the one has obviously that it turns out that one of the previous bidders from last year bought out one of the other bidders. And so so I'd like to make sure though that we try to keep that as competitive as we can. We wanted to talk about the MEC things, but did you go around to all of? Okay, so I think that everybody's already had that explanation, so we don't need to go over that. And there were no waivers other than that resolution approval that we had with the 6-month. That was it. We didn't have any other bid openings. So that was the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for finance?
One other thing, the one resolution that will be coming is for this budget. We'll see that next week.
Yep.
And that's when you'll see the resolution to formally accept the budget that we just talked about today and yesterday. So, and the staff's been talking about for a long time.
All righty,
Thank you.
thanks. If there aren't any questions, we'll go to PHS. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also met this morning. We have a number of resolutions that will be coming your way. So first, we acted on the monthly pension rollovers and refunds. We also reviewed and approved the per diem resolution. And then I've got a number of health department resolutions coming our way. So let me run through those rather quickly. First is the Rapid Adolescent Prevention Screening Program. This is commonly called the RAPS, and that's screening for young people regarding common health issues. We've got amendment to our contract with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services regarding emerging threats. We have 2 requests to apply, both going to the United Way. One for nursing home visiting programs in their funding cycle. And then also we have for the positive parenting program called Triple P, where we were asking for continuing funding from them. We also have a security device for use for our staff as they go out into the community that would allow them to, if they have concerns over security, to activate support services. We thought that made sense. And then also, we've got some money coming from the Southwest Michigan Behavioral Health regional entity. And so this is for an amount of $337,595 for our annual budget. So those all will surface to you in the next, at our next meeting. We had Guy Miller giving a regular report to us. A lot of very interesting things going on. One being the staffing is going quite well at the health department, so we're pleased with that. We have an action level exceedance over lead in Benton Township, so Guy talked with us a bit about that. And then also there's some discussion about the statewide septic code. And so we're paying particular attention to that, along with our friends at the Michigan Association of Counties. So no action being expected from either the health board or from us. And I believe that they do have an accreditation visit coming in December. And so I think they'll do just fine with that. And so that pretty much covered our work with Guy. And then we also had our administrator in to talk about the broadband funding issue. And then our chairman did a drive-by and waved at us as he was on to one of the other committees. So that concluded our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for PHS? All right, Mr. Admin Chair.
Thank you, Max. We had Mark Heiliger in, our road department director this morning. He talked to us about crack seal continues. They can do that weather permitting. The HMA potholes, he said, will be coming to an end here shortly because they have to have 40 degrees and rising in order for that hot mix to take. They do some cold patching, but not much because it's not quite as effective. Mowing and brush clearing is continuing. He's getting ready for winter. Trucks are prepared to plow snow when needed. I know I hated that. I'm not ready for snow, but he's ready. They're getting ready. Personnel, he talked about some vacancies. So we have both part-time and full-time vacancies available out at the road department. So if you know of anybody who's looking for a full-time or part-time job. And while Mark was still there, Annette came in and we did the fuel bid that the finance had opened and did that resolution. And then Brian was in and talked to us about the MEC and the broadband. And we approved our minutes. We have no resolutions, and that's our report.
Questions for admin? All right, then we'll go to commissioner reports. We'll go clockwise.
Real quickly, I attended yesterday's budget hearing, and I would just offer the same accolades that Bob offered. Staff did a great job with the budget. You guys put together a good budget. I think there's going to be a lot of challenges that are going to come before this board in the next few years with facilities that are timing out. And so we'll have a lot more to do, but I think they did a great job on the budget. And other than that, I just want to say tomorrow's state holiday, deer hunting opener. So everybody on the road, drive a little bit more carefully, because as the Michigan Army takes to the field, it moves them across the road. So be careful as they move about. So that's my report.
Yeah, I'd like to just echo the sentiments expressed here. Shout out to our staff, our elected officials, and our department heads for putting together just a good budget session. Thank you to Brian as well. And then I also attended BC Bit last week with Commissioners Freeling and Curran. And we talked about in finance, as well as Brian briefing the other committees on what to expect as far as those invoices coming in from MEC, and just thankful for the work that we're doing in broadband to get our county connected with internet. That's my report.
I attended the CE meeting of the CEO Council last week, participated in a veterans observance at Stewart Elementary. I had a meeting with two of the executives from Corwell. Several of us participated in a EOC disaster drill with Cook, and then attended the budget workshop, and then had a meeting of the Pokagon Health Board, as well as a goodbye event at Lincoln Township for a number of people, one of which is coming to serve as the clerk here at the county. And that concludes my report.
I also participated in the EOC Cook drill on Tuesday, along with Dave and Bob. That's our last one for this year. The next year is going to be the evaluated year. I also attended the budget hearing on Wednesday, and I'll echo all the previous commissioners. I think the staff did an excellent job on putting together the budget. And that's my report.
I attended the COC Cook plant drill the other day, and I got to go to a AAA meeting at 11:30, so I'll be leaving here in a few minutes. So, and other than that, I'm just not feeling well, but we're good.
No report. Brownfield is at 12:30 in the auto grow room.
I too attended the BC Bit meeting. Again, right now we are just in update mode for the Robin grant as that gets rolled out. Their MEC is moving quickly through what they had promised for construction, and that is reflected in what was discussed in committees of just those invoices that are starting to come through. Those are real homes that are hooked up, maybe not lit, but have access to it. Then on Tuesday, there was a Berrien County Planning Commission meeting. We received the master plan update from Bainbridge Township. And so that is available on their website to take a look at. And this is just something that they do on an every 5-year basis. And it is kind of looking at those priorities based on the county, based on the state, and making certain that those are in line with their township's objectives. And then we also received some text amendments from Bertrand Township as it related to renewable energies. And I think that this is just a boilerplate type ordinance resolution that they're putting into their language for setbacks and things like that. I also on Wednesday attended the Housing Resource Network meeting. We did some training on permanent supportive housing through federal funding for HUD, just to understand that a little bit better and what agencies are available to assist those who are chronically homeless within Berrien County to help them get that hand up that is needed. And then I had to leave that meeting early so that I could attend the budget hearing that we had here on Wednesday, and had the same joy that you all had of sitting through the great presentation that was offered by the staff. That's my report.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Do you have anything?
No, sir.
All right, then we'll move to general public comments. Anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less? Name and town, name and town. Yes, sir. As ready as we'll ever be.
Hager Township, Pelter, the name. A couple of weeks ago, I complained about my taxes going up 5%, exactly 5%. And nobody told me why. You know, he kind of laughed at me like I was stupid or something. Well, last Monday, I went to a Hager meeting there, and he kind of explained it to me. The reason they went up 5% is because of, when I went home, I Googled Miss Google, and she came up with something like this. That in March 1594 was a constitution, an amendment, proposal A passed. And in it, it said the taxes cannot go up more than 5%, no matter what the inflation is. The inflation is more, like Izzy was telling me, at 7.9%, but my taxes only went up 5%. inflation went up 7.9, so whichever is less, that's what it's charged. Now, next time somebody comes in here and asks you guys, tell them that, okay? It's a law now, and they can't change it. It's an amendment to the Constitution, state constitution. So my taxes go up 5%, that's it, not 7.9. Okay, got that? I'm gonna test you on it next week.
Thank you, Mr. Pelzer. Hopefully, the inflation rate won't be so high next year, and we won't hit that 5% ceiling next time. Right, right, yeah, you know. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
So Mr. Pelzer was just describing the Headley Amendment.
Right.
Should any of you feel obliged to visit your equalization office to stop and see Warren, pictures of Mr. Headley are spread throughout the building. They're built into their calendars. They have them hidden on the face of clocks. So if you ever want to be truly reminded about the Headley Amendment, the impact of Mr. Headley, just go see Warren and count up the number of Headley pictures in his office.
Yeah. When is Warren coming to see us?
Anytime you want, sir.
Warren should be getting an email from the township.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, great. Announcements and reminder, well, other business, anybody have any? We're closed for Thanksgiving and the day after. So other than that, I think we're good till next Thursday. We're adjourned.